Welcome to the Collector Cave, and today we are reviewing S.H.Figuarts 9S from Nier Automata. And I just reviewed 2B earlier this week, last week, whenever it was. That review is up. And I really like that figure, and 2B is real popular with the Nier game, and so is 9S to a lesser degree. But I wanted to show you guys side by side how these boxes are designed. I think it's pretty cool how they flipped them. So you can put them side by side if you want to maybe display them this way. But I think that looks really cool how they have that. We'll do some comparisons with 2B once I get him unpackaged. But I got him from Big Bad Toy Store, and he's still available. Him and 2B are both still available. But as I was saying in my 2B review, I don't have many S.H.Figuarts. I only have a Thanos from, I think, Endgame or Infinity War. And now, of course, I have these two, the 2B and the 9S. And I was real impressed with the build quality of 2B as well as the paint apps. So I know S.H.Figuarts is a pretty popular brand for a lot of people. They do a lot of, anime stuff, things like that. And this, of course, is overseas from Japan. But just looking at the picture and the box art, I think the packaging is really sleek. You can see he comes with 5 different face sculpts. He comes with his pod, and then here's some more pictures of the box. Here's a Tamashii Nations quality sticker. It's just kind of a proof of authenticity that this is not a bootleg product, because a lot of these get bootlegged. If you buy them off Amazon or eBay, you gotta be careful. And then there's Tamashii Nations Bandai Nier Automata version 1.1a. So that's actually based off the anime cartoon, I think came out last year. When I bought these off BBTS, I didn't realize this is based off the anime show. But in my opinion, they're very similar. The heads are a little more anime looking than the actual game models, but man, regardless, this is still 9S, and I think he's cool looking. And then on the side here, you can see, I read this in my 2B one. You can just, if you want to pause and read this. And then on the back, we show some shots of the figure, some Japanese language there. There's him without his mask. I prefer the masks on, just because that's kind of the aesthetic that the game starts with typically. But there he is next to 2B. We'll do some comparisons with her as well. And then there's some different poses you can get him in. There's the UPC. This is for ages 15 and over, and not intended for children under 3 years because of small parts. So there's some disclaimer things there, made in China. And then on the bottom, there's this. So let's get this guy out of packaging and take a look at what he comes with. Okay, and here is 9S, who I like to call 2S a lot of times because of 2B. But here's 9S and just about everything he comes with. I played around with the figure a little bit. He's not as articulated as 2B, but still really good articulation. But you can see he comes with the 4 extra face sculpts and extra hair plates. And I believe that's for the ones that have no bandana. I think the bandana use this hair sculpt, and those ones use this according to the directions, which, by the way, here's the directions. So it shows you this hair piece, I believe, goes with the 2 with the bandana, covering the eyes, and then or the blindfold, whatever it is. And then the 3 face sculpts with this one, I think. So we'll find out. And then you get 10 total hands, which what's odd about the hands down here is that you get 5 left hand, actually 6 left hand and 4 right hand. I don't know why they don't even those out, but it's okay. He comes with more hands than 2B did. And then it shows here with the sword, which is Black Covenant. I think that's a great, large sword, a heavy sword, I believe. Black Covenant is one of his weapons. And it does say the same thing for 2B, but if you see it says here, it says warning, may rub off. So as you apply the hand to the katana hilt, the paint could rub off. So I would advise with these hands, they are kind of soft, pliable, to bend those hands open, maybe heat them up first, to bend the hand open and put the katana blade in there so you don't scratch the paint. Because the paint is really nice on these weapons for both figures. And then there's pod 153. That's his pod. And then the stand, which I'm going to show you guys in a minute. The stand is pretty cool. It comes packaged underneath the plastic packaging. And I just want to show you guys what it looks like in packaging, because the way this is designed, of course, now it's all crazy. The way this is designed is you don't have to rip it. You can just pull this right out. It pulls right out. So if you want to ever resell this figure, you can keep all the original packaging, including like this, because a lot of times this stuff you have to rip it open and then, you know, then it's no good anymore. So there's a clamp you can use as well. So yeah, that can be kept and used if you plan on reselling. But here's the stand. You know, a lot of these import figures, they don't have any, the stands don't like say the character name or anything. It's just a plastic, you know, stand, but we'll get into it. But you can put this, you know, of course, back in here, and then it's a posable flight rod, and you either plug this into the back of the figure, there's a hole in the back of the figure, or you can use the clamp to go around his waist, your choice. And then his pod plugs in either on the left side or right side, or back there if you want. And you can stand the, actually no, just the two sides. It won't fit back here. It's too big. Actually, you know what? It goes this way. So yeah, it could work. It would work in any of these three holes for the pod to be up in the air like it's flying around behind him. Really cool look. But as regards to the figure, let's take a closer look at 9S. You know, just looking at him briefly before I showed him here, he looks really good. The paint apps are really tight. If I zoom in here, you can see even the stitching on the blindfold. The stitching on the blindfold is really nice. It looks like that paint, either it might just be light. I think it's just light hitting it. I thought the paint was rubbed off. It's just light hitting it. But yeah, there's his, he has that necklace like that choker. There's the blindfold back there. And then he has his, I don't want to call it a fanny pack, but whatever that is. There's a better term for it than fanny pack. But he has that in his back, which is stuck on there. It's not movable. And then here's his coat. Nice detail with the coat. You know, he has like these like old school looking, you know, bucklers with the buckles, the gauntlets, and even his boots are like old school, like pilgrim style or something, you know, look. And then the high socks. So definitely a very particular look for both 2B and 9S. But I think the aesthetics are really nice with these figures. So yeah, there's that. And if we, I can pull the pod up and show you pod 153 here. It has the same articulation as 2B's pod 42, I believe. So pretty much it just, the arms can move and they can go all the way around if you want. So they can, oh, it just came apart. Look at that. Simply just plugs back on, no big deal. Just like that. The fingers, the hands don't have any articulation. But his pod is more of a gunmetal, and 2B's is more of like a silver look. I'll show them both side by side in a little bit, but exactly the same pod, just painted differently. So it's not like it looks any different apart from the paint apps. He's got the red on his, and she has a kind of like the gold. And then here is Black Covenant, his weapon, one of his weapons at least. Cool looking sword. This one's got a gold, the metal's gold. And then there's the hilt. Looks really good. Yeah, really good detail. Nice detail. And then here are the extra faces. And we'll look at those in detail as well. And then also the extra hands. So there's quite a lot of playability with this figure with regard to faces and hands. So let's go ahead and actually now we'll go over articulation a little bit. So the head's on a ball joint and so is the neck, the base of the neck. You can see the whole thing moving. But because his hair is the way it is, you can't really look back very far because one, the bandana plus the hairpiece catches at the collar. But he can look down really good. He can look, you know, left to right, rotate pretty good. The arms are almost 90, not quite, as you can see. And they're on some type of, I can't really tell you what this joint is, but it goes all the way around. It's almost like a ball hinge or like a butterfly. As you can see there, the spread there. But it's just a different type of joint. I don't really know what it is, but it's cool. It works good. Then there is bicep swivel. And then single jointed elbow, but it goes back really far, as you can see. And then the wrists are on a ball hinge. And then there is a single ball joint there at the waist. So you get some really good, well, he leans forward a little bit. He leans back better, but he can do side to side a little bit. Because of the way this coat is, it's limited to some degree. And the legs, this is like soft, pliable rubber here, so you can move his legs around. His legs do kick up 90, and there is a thigh swivel. You can see the cut right there. The legs don't drop down though. I tried dropping them and I pulled his ball joint out from his waist. So his legs don't drop down like 2Bs do. And then his knees are single jointed, and they give you just a little bit past 90. And then a ball hinge ankle peg here, and then toe articulation. So you can still get him in some pretty good poses, although he's not as agile, I don't believe, as like 2B, for example. Still pretty cool look. Very cool aesthetic. Let's go ahead and change out the face plates now and show what those look like. So just real quick to show you guys how this works. The reason why they give you this back hairpiece is because there's no bandana attached. So if you want to go without the bandana faces, you've got to change out this back hairpiece. However, I'm having trouble pulling it out. I'm really afraid it should just pull out of this black piece here, but I haven't been able to pull it out yet. So I'm going to mess with it a few more minutes and see what I can do. Okay, it literally just took me a couple seconds to do that, but it just unplugs right there, so no harm done. So let's go ahead and put on some of these non-bandana looks. Okay, here's 9S with the new head sculpt on, the back hair piece so that the bandana is not back there tied. And this is just kind of like the standard look. Eyes are printed really good, just like 2Bs. That's the same printing technology they used. And then I have him doing the For Mankind pose. Yora doesn't actually, I guess his hand doesn't actually touch his chest, but it's close enough. So yeah, pretty cool. Let's change out another face. Okay, here's 9S with a smiling face, and I got the pointing finger on there. Maybe he's pointing to 2B. But yeah, it looks pretty good. Very soft sculpts, which is ideal for these figures, the way they look. You can just see where that hair splits there for the coming off, but it's not too bad. It looks pretty good. And all of these buttons and the gold, the paint apps are done really well. Very high quality. All right, here's 9S yelling. I got the sword in his hand, Black Covenant. I got pod 153 connected, and I had to actually do some modification to this plastic pole because once out of the factory, it was like shredded outward, so I had to clean off some edges there with a knife, but then it fit in okay. But yeah, pretty cool look. There's that head sculpt. If I zoom in, looks pretty good. I wouldn't display him with this, but I love that they give you the options. And I was wrong. This figure does not have a hole in his back like 2B does. You have to actually just use the clamp with 9S if you want to get him, up doing some sort of dynamic pose like we have right here. Just give this thing a little once around or whatever to take a look at this thing. Yeah, pretty cool. I love that the pod has its own stand to make it look like it's floating when it follows him. Really cool detail. I like this figure a lot. Okay, here's 9S with the yelling face with the bandana on, or the blindfold on, with his sword. Like he's just swipes forward with it or backwards with it, whatever it might be. Yeah, really cool. Let's take a look at this this head sculpt here. Yeah, it looks really good. I still prefer the closed mouth one over this one. But if you have them in a battle scene or something, let me zoom in even further because it looks like there might be some paint mess up here. Let's see. My arm's shaking. I just cut the grass for the first time today, and my weed whacking, my forearm is shaking. Yeah, a little bit of dirt there at the chin, as you can see. Like I'm zoomed in like ×5 right now, so you're gonna see a lot of imperfections this close. But yeah, I mean, overall, he looks really good. Let's do some comparisons now with him and 2B. All right, here's 9S next to 2B, and both doing For the Glory of Mankind, the pose. Surprisingly, 2B is taller than 9S. I haven't measured 9S yet. I think 2B came at 5 3/4 inches tall. Looks like 9S might be 5.5 inches. But man, seeing these guys side by side is really cool. Look at that. They go together really good. Perfect. Love it. All right, check this out. Both 9S and 2B in action, fighting some robots. Yeah, really cool. Really like this. They can both do very dynamic poses. 2B can pull off more dynamic poses because of those drop down legs and just a little bit better articulation overall. But still, I mean, these two look really good together. And the pods look almost the same color in the camera, but his pod is definitely a gunmetal. I can zoom in here, whereas her pod is more silver, like a chromish type, a dull chrome, I guess I would say. Um, Brush nickel, something like that. But yeah, man, having one of these is cool, but having them both together side by side is really neat. Awesome. Okay, so at the end of the day, is this guy worth it? I think if you're a big Nier fan, a Nier Automata fan, if you like, 9S, 2B, I think absolutely. Even though these are based off the anime show, I think they still match up very closely to the models from the game, Nier Automata. And like I said, this guy's available on BBTS. I got him it was $83.99. He's still available, so is 2B. They're not on the Square Enix site. Just I've only found them on BBTS. That's an FYI. So yeah, I never did measure him. Let's see if I can measure him real quick. Yeah, he comes in like right at 5.5 inches. So he's about a 1/4 inch shorter than 2B, which I never realized that. It'd be cool if they would have made a 9S with the mech he has. I forget what that flight suit's called. I can't remember, but it's like a mech, right? That'd be cool if they had a version with that. Really awesome. But regardless, he comes with a pod. He has one weapon. It'd be cool if they would have given him both weapons, the light and heavy weapons. They both just come with one weapon. But anyway, I think this is a great figure. I love it a lot. I love seeing 9S and 2B side by side. I think that it's a really cool look. They go together really great. They'll be great on a shelf together side by side, either in museum poses or something more more dynamic like we see with 2B here. Yeah, I think overall the paint apps are good. The articulation's great. All the joints are nice and tight. Nothing's real loose. It's a great figure. I'm really impressed. So I got 2B coming from Play Arts Kai, which is a taller figure, and I also have a Bring Arts from Nier Replicant, the male antagonist or protagonist coming as well. So those will probably be my next reviews coming up. But let me know what you guys' thoughts are. What do you think of Nier Automata or Nier Replicant? Do you guys like the series? There's a lot to discuss. I won't go into spoilers here because there's a lot to discuss. But let me know your thoughts. Like, comment, subscribe if you want. If you like the content, I'd appreciate it. And until next time, this has been S.H.Figuarts 9S from Nier Automata version 1.1a.